Welcome into the mid-year book tag. There's gonna be a lot of like background noise because my dad is currently working on the garage, so shocker. Oh, maybe he got it. So I didn't want to do this. I'm just gonna talk. I didn't want to do this video because I like the end of year book tag with everything, but the more I see them, the more jealous I get, and I wanted to do one. So like, whatever. I get scared that I like end up talking about the same books over and over and over again. But I love these, and that's all. So I stole the questions from Sarah Caroli's book tag because she's the queen. So like, obviously. So I guess let's get started. If there's squealing in the back, Daisy. Her name is Danny. Daisy's one of the first books I talk about. So Danny's in her cage because she was being bad and it's time for her nap, even though the lights are all on. But let's get started. Okay, so first, I guess we're talking about like how many books and like Goodreads and goals and stuff like that. I've read 63 books so far this year, which sounds like a lot for me, but like probably 20 of them were novellas, rereads, which doesn't really matter because they're still full books, but like small books like Heartstopper or the Mindfuck series, or you know, like there's a lot that were like 100-ish pages or less. So if you took out, or like if you added together all of those little mini books to make real sized books, I probably would be around the 40-ish, like right around the mark, because my goal for this year was 80. Obviously I'm gonna pass it because I've read, I only have like, what is that? 17 more books to go. I will read 17 books before the end of the year. Let's get started on number 1, which is the best book so far. There were 2 contenders. It's like best book versus highest rating. So I have one that's rated higher than this, but this one, it has to take the cake. I also didn't organize. As you can see, I just threw the books on my bed. Last time I organized the books, I'm not this time. But A Court of Silver Flames wins for best book because I did technically read this in January for the first time. Akatar is just that girl. She just is. There's just nothing's gonna beat her for me. And especially because this was my first time reading and she got a 5 stars. She's just that girl. She's not gonna get beat. Okay, I have best sequel. Found it. Daisy Hates. So I just read this, quite literally, in the last video I talked about it. The jump from Magnolia Parks to Daisy Hates is unreal because I didn't love Magnolia Parks as much, and I love Daisy Hates. So that is by far the best sequel. The worst sequel, another book I literally just read. It just didn't do it for me. Didn't do what it needed to do. It was boring. It dragged on a really long time. It was anticlimactic and like super guessable. That's all I have to say. New releases that I haven't read yet. Obviously Reckless, that literally came out today, but my copy won't get here until Friday. So I have to wait on that. Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. All I know about it is that she gets stuck in her favorite romance book. I'm pretty sure. Also, no. Geneva Rose, Home is Where the Bodies Are. I just love Geneva and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I don't know anything about it because I wanted to go in blind. So, Middle of the Night, Riley Sager. I actually started this last night and got, I think, 2 chapters in before I went to bed. Yeah, I'm on page 26. But it's about Billy who got abducted in the middle of the night out of a tent with the main character. And the main character like slept right through it and didn't know. So now he's like 40 and weird things are happening. That's all I know. Oh. My most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So I was bamboozled. So I had written down, usually when I see like when release dates are for books that I really want to read, I'll write them in my calendars in my phone. I do it all the time. So I had the release date for this book in my phone for like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something. I had been looking forward to it for so long. I was like, I cannot wait to go get it. I'm going to read it literally day of. It comes out in September. I was like, where did I get that date from? Like, I didn't just pull it out of my ass. Like, literally, where did I get that date from? But it's Pucking Sweet. So it's the 3rd book in the Pucking Around series. And I can't wait for it. But I'm gonna have to wait till September for some reason. Biggest surprise. I have a few because I'm constantly shocked by the things that I'm gonna like. First, Boyhood. I talked about it like a while ago. The author, Reuben Fenton, sent me this. And I was I was like, sure, I'll read it. And then I ended up literally being obsessed with it and loving it. Definitely should still go read this book. It's really good. It's a really good, like, finding yourself story. Adorable. Made me laugh and cry and all the feels. Then it's like I'm not as shocked by this because I knew it was going to be good. I'm just shocked at how much it affected me. Basically, that's the surprising there, is how much that this affected my brain. Then Heartstopper. I just didn't know this was that good. I just didn't. I was truly shocked at how obsessed I am with these boys. These 15, 16-year-old boys. There's no reason for me to be as obsessed with a graphic novel as I am with this one. Oh, and I don't have it because I haven't bought it yet because I read it on my Kindle, but the Mindfuck series, that shocked me because I have been putting that one off thinking I wasn't going to like it that much, and literally obsessed with it. Actually, you know, come to think of it, I think I'm gonna buy it today because I need to have it in my possession. I do. And then I'm gonna have to reread it. Okay. New favorite author. And by new, she's new to me. She's not new to the world. This year, I first read Abby Jimenez. Some of my absolute favorite books. I've never read her before. I thought like all of her books were like cutie, regular romances that are like eh. Like the first book that I had heard of hers was Part of Your World. And so I was like, is it a mermaid retelling? Like, I don't have really that much interest in reading that. I still haven't read it. But then I heard about all of her other books and how popular she was getting. And she has quickly become one of my favorite authors. She is a immediate buy for me. Like, I will buy whatever she writes now because she's become one of my favorites. Along with Ashley Poston. If she writes it, I'm gonna buy it. That being said, this is the only book I've read of hers. I still have to read The Dead Romantics, and obviously a novel love story just came out. So, but one of my favorite, like, I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read her. New to me and amazing. Love her. Ugh. Okay. Newest crush. We can start with Christian, and Daisy hates. Just obsessed with him. I don't know. The jealousy and protectiveness just does it for me. It just does, and he's hot. Justin, and Just for the Summer. Yes, he just does it. He does it. Everything that you could want in a boyfriend, it's him. He does it. If he wanted to, he would. And that's all we want. We just want a man that would. That's all we want. And he would. He's the new crush. And then there's one more. Actually, I didn't even think about this. Mac? I don't have the book because Logan's reading it right now, but Mac, Makoto, and Powerful, please. Oh, that's what I'm missing. And then Connell from Normal People, because I'm obsessed with him. And it's Paul Mescal, so of course. Which I just learned his last name is pronounced Mescal, so. And that's from Paul himself, so don't even attempt to correct me. Okay, one of the questions is books that made me cry. I was going down the list and that was almost every single book. So I'm gonna read my list and then I'm gonna show you like top 3 that made me cry. Life's Too Short, Daisy Hates, Heartstopper. I'm gonna skip those 2. 7-Year Slip, If Only I Told Her, A Court of Silver Flames, Normal People. And then I think my top 3 were Darling Venom. If you don't know what happens in the beginning of this book, I'm not gonna tell you, but that's why. Cried like to the point where I was like gagging. It wasn't cute. Powerful. I can't even think about these books without thinking about the pain I was in. If you don't know this, I also can't tell you because this is the novella to Powerless, obviously, so I'm not going to, but you should know what happens. Getting a different point of view of it. I can't. And then Just for the Summer, classic. I literally boohoo cried 90% of this book. And I don't know why. It was just really heartbreaking to me. So I cried a lot. And then you could say Normal People, but I didn't cry as much during the book as I did during the show. The show's what did me in. One is books that made me happy. I just don't think I read happy books. Like if you want to say like books that made me like kick my feet, sure. We could say Heartstopper. I only grabbed 2 of them because the rest of them are up there. Speaking of. That's so ugly. Anyways, like Heartstopper made me like giggly, kick my feet. And then I guess if I were to pick a romance that made me like kick my feet the entire time, like literally like little schoolgirl giggling, probably The Fake Out, which was the second to Behind the Net in the Vancouver Storm series. I don't own it, so that's all I've got. It was just Rory was the cutest. Actually, he's another crush. I'm obsessed with Rory. He was adorable. He was like a golden retriever, but also like cocky hockey player. And it was fake dating. Fake Dating really does it for me. The prettiest or like the most beautiful books. I'm obsessed with this cover and the color. It's like I'm hoping I love this because I want this displayed because of how pretty this is. Plus like with 7-year slip. Beautiful. And then I think this book is beautiful. I kind of wish I didn't have the book of the month book of it because it kind of takes away, but I think this book is beautiful. The colors, and then obviously all of the Magnolia Parks books are beautiful. Obviously, we know that. The books to read by the end of the year. I need to finish Throne of Glass before the end of the year. I'm on the tandem, so I only have the tandem and Kingdom of Ash, so like it's doable. I can do it. It's just like the thought of sitting down and reading these. Also, I have to like time it out with Logan because we're trying to do the readathon, like kind of surrounding Sarah J. Maas. So it'll happen. I just need to finish Throne of Glass this year. If I don't, I'll be really disappointed in myself. And then I also want to finish the Magnolia Park series because it's really growing on me. Oh, I forgot this book came damaged. Anyways, I want to read Magnolia Parks, mostly for Daisy Hates, but... And then I also, obviously, I don't have it, but Reckless. Because like I said, comes in Friday. But that'll get read literally immediately, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, then my 5-star reads. I actually have like a lot of 5-star reads this year. I don't know what I'm on, but I've been picking like really good books. There's just so many books that I had been putting off, I think, for a long time, and I finally read them this year, so I've been doing good. Let me try and get them all. So the ones I don't own, I would say the Mindfuck series, like as a whole, I was giving it 5 stars. I didn't rate them all individually 5 stars, only the last one, but like I would say as a whole, 5 stars. I love that series. And then The Exception to the Rule, which is one of those mini Improbable meet cutes, and just for some reason that really stuck with me, and I really, really loved that story. Powerful, I gave 5 stars. I was just obsessed. I don't know what bad there is to it. It was more than I wanted, and that's all I could ask for. I just realized I didn't put earrings or rings in. That's like the second video in a row. Y'all gonna think I'm a big loser lame-o now. Anyways, Court of Silver Flames, she was 5 stars, obviously. One of the best books I've ever read. Powerless, she was 5 stars. This was also one of the best YA books I've ever read, if not the best YA book. Like comparing, earlier I had said Ruthless Vows was a YA fantasy, and so it wasn't very high stakes. This is YA. Comparing these two, no comparison whatsoever. This is just so good, and I cannot get over Kai. I can't. And I cannot wait to read Reckless, and I just hope that it wasn't like rushed out to get it to everyone, like how I'm worried Iron Flame and whatnot is gonna start happening. Like I don't want Rebecca to like rush out the Fourth Wing books, and I don't want Lauren to like rush out these books as much as I want them. I don't want them rushed, that's for sure. Then I gave 7-Year Slip 5 stars. Broke my heart. It was like a unique romance to me. I never read one like this before, and it just made me cry, made me fall in love with him. I don't know, what more do you want? And then my only 6-star read this year that wasn't a reread was Just for the Summer. I have no bad things to say about this book, other than no, I had a couple bad things to say, but it didn't take away from the story or my rating. So if you haven't read it, I don't know what's stopping you other than the fact that it's super popular. It's popular for a reason, and you need to go read it because it's literally one of my favorite books ever. I added in a couple because I can. So I added books that I've reread this year, which was kind of a lot, and like what I thought of them my second time around. So I reread No Exit. Rereading a thriller is a little difficult. I would not recommend it because you know what's coming. So like, it was still good. I just wasn't shocked by anything that happened, obviously. So like, it just kept the same rating as last time. I reread Magnolia Parks because it had been like a year before I had read it when I was ready to go into Daisy Hates. So I reread it. I liked it a little bit more than last time. I think that like the first time I was just so shocked by the toxicity that I couldn't enjoy it, but I enjoyed it more this time. And there's just so many characters, it's hard to keep up. So like this time I knew them a little more, so I could keep up a little more, you know? There's just an insane amount of characters. That being said, I upped it from like a 3.5 to a 4, I think. You can't see this, but it's a walk to remember. I love it just as much as I always have. It's a 5-star read for me. Obsessed. Those are 2 of my favorite book characters in the whole world. All of these are I reread the books that I'm obsessed with, most likely. So like, all of these did not change their ratings. Fourth Wing, you don't even want me to start talking about Fourth Wing. It's a 6-star read for me. I will never not love this book. I will never not be obsessed or talk about it or recommend it. You can say what you want about it. I don't care. It's one of my favorite books ever. Love in Other Words. I was worried it was going to drop in rating. It did not. Still 5-star read. And you can't convince me otherwise. And then I didn't reread the whole series. I just reread A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin after I had finished Silver Flames. There's not many books in the world that I think I will love more than these. And I'm not sorry about it. I didn't reread ACOTAR or Frost and Starlight just because it was mostly these two that I wanted to reread. So, okay, now books that I do want to reread. I already know I'm going to reread Normal People. One, because it's not like daunting. It's a really small book, so I know it wouldn't take me long, but I went into it not annotating anything, and I want to fully annotate this book, like a lot. I just have to be in the right headspace for it. And then I want to fully, I don't want to, I just know what's going to happen. I'm going to fully reread ACOTAR. I can't help it. It is what it is. I've only read ACOTAR once and Frost and Starlight once. And Silver Flames, honestly. So I want to go in and reread all of them again. And annotate them all again. And I'm going to. Then we have books I enjoyed with mixed reviews. I don't typically read that many books that have mixed reviews because of the mixed reviews, so I can start with this one. The second to If He Had Been With Me, it doesn't have mixed reviews, like maybe you shouldn't read it. I think it's mixed because I enjoyed this book and a lot of people didn't. Like, I didn't mind this book at all, and I heard a lot of people talk shit about this book, so that's where that comes in. And then I would say also The Teacher by Frida McFadden, just because the plot itself is a little questionable and some people didn't like the plot. But I didn't mind it, so I liked that book. And then my lowest and highest rated. My highest was obviously Just for the Summer. It was my only 6-star read this year. And then my lowest was actually Lynn Painter, The Love Wager, who, now that I think about it, has another one of my lowest rating books. And I used to say Lynn Painter was like a must buy for me. That's scary to say out loud, that she has 2 of my lowest rated books this year. The Love Wager, I just did not like. I didn't connect with the characters. I didn't feel the connection. I didn't like really any part of it at all. And then Betting on You, a YA book, I gave a 2.5. The other one, Love Wager, I gave a 2. Betting on You, I gave 2.5. I just didn't like the characters at all. Like, they just were kind of mean. Or like the boy was, at least. I don't know. But that's kind of spooky because she's written one of my favorite books. Last but not least, my 5-star predictions for the rest of the summer. For the rest of the year. I am hoping I can see this being a 5-star read. I don't know. I'm very, very hopeful for it because the idea sounds really fun. It's the same like magical type of book, I believe. Maybe it's not. All I knew is that she got stuck in a romance novel, and I thought that she meant like magically, but maybe not. I don't know, but anyways, I just want to go into it kind of blind and like very open-ended and like not with other people's opinions. So I can see this being a 5-star, and if it is, then I'm gonna go and read The Dead Romantics like immediately because that's the other adult book that I haven't read of hers. I just like how she doesn't write like normal romances. Like there's like an element of like magic to them. And then I guess you could say, I don't know where this book comes in. It's the last book sitting behind me. I think it was books I wanted to read before the end of the year. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Anyways, I also believe Reckless could be a 5-star read. I'm gonna go into it super low expectations because I know the drill. I cannot go into it with really high expectations, and then we're gonna see. But I think that that's gonna be a 5-star read. And I hope so. I really, really hope it is. Well, that was fun. Now I have to put all these books back. My least favorite part of any video that involves a lot of books. But it's okay. I also need to go get coffee. I haven't had coffee yet. You can probably tell. Thanks for watching. If you agree with me on these, let me know. I feel like a lot of my opinions are very agreeable, so just go ahead and agree with me in the comments. If not, let's fight. I love to fight about my opinions on books. So hopefully you enjoyed. If not, don't tell me. I do have fun videos coming up though. I have reading vlogs of fun new books coming out. So hopefully you enjoy those as well. That's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.